Dominic.
Present.
Mr. Johnson.
Here.
Ms. Pearson. Ms. Lynn. Ms. Bowman.
Present.
Ms. Baker. Ms. Lynch.
Present.
Mr. Escaday.
Here.
Mr. Thibodeau.
Here.
Ms. Cox. Mr. Smith.
Here.
Mr. Epperson.
Yeah.
Quorum, sir.
All right, we've had the prayer and the pledge. We will move right on into the business. Are there any agenda additions from anyone at this time? All right, being none, we'll move to special resolutions.
A resolution of remembrance for Lance Corporal Dakota Ray Hughes.
President, I'd like to go down to the podium and ask the Hughes family to come up, please.
Everyone stand, please.
This way, please, this way, please. Hughes. Come on this side.
State of Louisiana, Parish of Caddo, resolution of remembrance and respect to the memory of Marine Lance Corporal Dakota Ray Hughes. Whereas the Caddo Parish Commission pauses to reflect with sadness upon the untimely death of Marine Lance Corporal Dakota Ray Hughes, whose passing on November 9, 2010, at the age of 19, marked the close of a short but productive life of service to his community and country. And whereas Lance Corporal Hughes was a native of Caddo Parish, having resided in Greenwood and attended Huntington High School, he served his nation in Afghanistan with great pride and dignity. Lance Corporal Hughes loved being able to help people in his community. During Hurricane Katrina, volunteering countless hours to give to others that had lost so much. Dakota loved even more serving the great United States of America and her citizens. He understood how important it was to make sure this great country continued to be the beacon of freedom and liberty. And whereas Lance Corporal Hughes lived a life filled with diverse activities, reading, soccer, wrestling, interact club, science club, student council, and traveling. He cherished the time with his brother and his best friend, and he always made time for his sisters and the rest of the family. Dakota never met a stranger and was always surrounded by friends because he was such a compassionate, dedicated, and loyal young man. Now therefore be it resolved that the Caddo Parish Commission expresses a deep sense of loss at the passing of Marine Lance Corporal Dakota Hughes, a son, brother, and friend who served the citizens of Caddo Parish and his country not only with integrity, dedication, and commitment, but a deep and genuine affection for others as well. Be it further resolved that this commission does extend to his family and friends its most sincere expressions of sympathy and condolences, and the prayer that they will be comforted by warm memories and the promise of life and joy beyond this veil. Signed this day, John Escaday, President, Ken Epperson, Senior Vice President, Doug Dominic, Lyndon Johnson, Paul Pearson, Matthew Lynn, Joyce Bowman, Lindora Baker, Stephanie Lynch, Mike Thibodeau, David Cox, and Jim Smith.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Been moved and seconded for adoption, and it is unanimously approved.
Mr. President, if you would, you may poll the commission and see if they would like a word. I'd like the final word, please.
Your son served. I appreciate that. He's a child. I can't not tell you the sorrow. Our hearts go out to you.
Thank you for your service of your son and your brother, and that's the greatest sacrifice that one can give for their country, and I know it's appreciated by myself and everybody I know. Thank you.
Thanks again for the ultimate sacrifice.
I have no words. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Our prayers continue to be with you and your family.
Thank you for this also.
Our prayers are with you.
Mayor Dave Hanson, Greenwood, come forward, please, sir, if you'd like a word.
I want to thank the commission for this resolution of remembrance for Corporal Dakota Hughes. I think about this young man, and he is a true patriot and a true American hero. And I want you to go home tonight and look at the dictionary of hero, definition of a hero, and you're going to recall the name of Dakota Hughes. And I thank you for what you've done today. And my heart's go out, my heart and go out, and the citizens of Greenwood. We in turn are going to meet tonight and remember him as in tribute in a memorial in the park for Greenwood. We are making plans at this time.
Are there any members present from American Legion Post 14? Okay. I have a book that I keep with me near and dear to my heart. It's titled A Hero in Every Heart. A passage that I chose to read today, and it states, the credit belongs to those who are actually in the arena, who strive valiantly, who know the great enthusiasm, the great devotions, and spend themselves in a worthy cause, who at best know the triumph of high achievement, and who at worst, if they fail while daring greatly, so that their place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory or defeat. This was by Theodore Roosevelt. Dakota was an individual that we are very pleased, Ms. Donna, that you brought him into this world. Even before he had a chance to live, he realized that it was better to give. And he gave the ultimate sacrifice, the many privileges and things that we enjoy today. And we want to thank you very much. And we know that Dakota will live now and forever in the hearts and minds of not only the citizens of Caddo Parish, but the citizens of the United States of America and the world. On behalf of the Commission, we submit this resolution to you, and we thank you very much. Appreciate family members. Appreciate it.
Thank y'all so much. It means a lot to us that you can remember Dakota. This was Dakota's brother Dusty and his sisters Sabrina, Samantha, and Leslie. And this over here is my mother and my two sisters, Melinda and Melissa, and one of Dakota's best friends. We call him Jay-Z. We thank y'all so much. It means a lot to us, and this is a huge honor. Thank y'all. We appreciate it.
Next, we have a resolution in recognition of Mr. Stan and Stephen Logan. Go ahead. Stand, please.
State of Louisiana Parish of Caddo, resolution of recognition for Mr. Dan and Mr. Stephen Logan, cotton producers. Whereas the Caddo Parish Commission is pleased to acknowledge and recognize events of significance that occur in our community and to join in celebrating worthy accomplishments by citizens of this parish. And whereas Mr. Dan Logan and Mr. Stephen Logan, cotton farmers in Gillum, have produced and harvested Caddo Parish's first bale of cotton for the year 2010, an event that has since 1912 symbolized the beginning of the fall harvest season, while also spotlighting the vital importance of agriculture to this parish. And whereas the bale, part of a cotton crop that was planted on April 21st and ginned on September the 7th, was sold on October 28th at the Producers Luncheon, State Exhibit Museum during the State Fair. The sale netted the Logans a sum of $4,100 donated by a group of 18 public-spirited agriculture supporters, lenders, businesses, and suppliers in the area. Those being Architects Agriculture Council, Louisiana Land Bank, Louisiana State Fair, Goldman Tractor, Scott Tractor, Bancorp South, Link Coleman, Louisiana Ag Credit, Caddo Ag Supply, Atlanta Chemical, Shreveport Tractor, Crop Production Services, Farm Bureau, Louisiana Department of Agriculture and Forestry, Caddo Sheriff Steve Prater, Gillum Gin, Jack Dillard, and Cairo Plantation. And whereas the bell was on display at the LSU Ag Center building at the Louisiana State Fairgrounds during the 2010 run of the State Fair, October 21st through November 7th. Now therefore be it resolved by the Caddo Parish Commission in legal and regular session convened this 9th day of December 2010 that it does hereby extend its heartiest expressions of congratulations and commendation to Mr. Dan Logan and Mr. Stephen Logan for their accomplishment of bringing to market the first bale of cotton of 2010 harvest season, and for being the latest in a long line of Caddo Parish cotton growers to renew and perpetuate a venerable annual tradition. Be it further resolved that it is the prayer of the Caddo Commission that the Logans and all other members of the important Caddo Parish agriculture community may always enjoy beneficial weather, dependable equipment, bountiful harvests, strong markets as they continue their important work. Signed this day, John Escaday, President, Ken Epperson, Senior Vice President, and Doug Dominic, District 1.
Thank you. I appreciate the Logans here. Dan Logan is here. Stephen, the producers, is it Emily, his daughter, and Jan, his wife. Appreciate y'all coming here today. I know y'all wish that every bill got $4,100. But this is something that I like to do to promote our agricultural, especially North Caddo Parish, and Ron's done a tremendous job over the years. I think you're the third or fourth generation that Stephen comes along, and it's kind of unusual. The small farmers are getting away, not getting into it so much, but Stephen has stepped up. In 2009, I think we had like 90 inches of rain in October. This year we had one of the best yields, best crops we've had in a long time, corn, soybeans, and cotton. We just wish y'all the best in the future. Thank you very much. Good. Thank you very much. Thank you for this recognition, and more importantly, thank you for recognizing agriculture. It's extremely important for Caddo Parish, for North Caddo, for all of Caddo Parish. So any help y'all give us is appreciated as always, and thank you very much.
That's our brother.
Let me say a little something.
That's our daddy.
I liked your resolution. It was wonderful. We appreciate your recognition. I particularly like the thing about you talking about, Tyler, about having a little influence on the weather, and then put it on Mr. John Eskew. We would really appreciate any help you could give us.
Oh, gosh, it will not be.
General Patton had to call in the chaplain to do that. So. Pretty thick rug for that kind of thing there.
I thought maybe you might have some inside connection like he did. But anyway.
I don't know if I want to test my relationship with him. I'll do my best.
He is Catholic, but he says he doesn't know the Pope. So.
All right, that resolution was nominated by, moved by Commissioner Dominic, seconded by the chair, and approved without exception. We appreciate you being here. Congratulations. Good luck to you.
Yeah, that's good. Yes, it does.
All right. Next we have visitors, Mr. Roland Daltez. Welcome, Roland.
Rolling.
Mr. Chairman. Afternoon, everyone. I feel quiet, Roland. He's got to be here, doesn't he? We can ask him to leave. We can ask him to leave. Before we get, I just wanted to appreciate our State President, Carl Pearson, and Chairman Escaday for allowing me to say a few words. I'm here to say thank you for a lot of things that's going on this past year while Carl was president, and upcoming events that we got planned for Shreveport. I want to thank you guys personally for recognizing Corporal Hughes. Our wins and losses in D.C. and Baton Rouge can't compare to what these guys do for us. So I want to thank y'all for recognizing him. And also recognizing the Logans. Before I became a bad person, became an attorney. My 2 undergrad degrees are on up the road to Tech were agriculture education and also agriculture business. So I've been in those cotton fields and and those soybean fields and those rice fields with our agronomy. So
You made the right choice. There's no such thing as a crooked farmer.
They're all poor brothers. It was a salt of the earth. We appreciate everything they do. But anyway, I appreciate Randy passing this out. I just wanted to share some great news with you guys. 2 years ago, we brought up the severance tax, general severance tax, where Caddo and the neighboring Bogan are going to be big beneficiaries. It's capped at $850,000 plus CPI. 2 years ago, we tried to raise it and it failed statewide. This past year, thanks to folks like y'all for passing some of the first resolutions, and Carl was president passing the resolution at the state level, and they will have a statewide campaign. We took off, we passed this thing during the last general session. I just want to show you guys the map that Emily Buell put together for us. It only failed in 4 parishes, and 1 parish it only failed by 7 votes. So in the Caddo Parish alone, it passed 64 to 36. So I wanted to thank y'all for that. Projections are, there's trigger language in the bill. Projections are it becomes active in 2012, but some of the increases that we got to get Caddo and get Bossier and Webster and all these guys more money is going to be probably triggered in 2013, 2014. And what that means is your take goes from about $907,000 a year to $1.85 million, and after that it goes to $2.85 million per year. And we also were able to keep the CPI index, so it's going to grow. So this 80-20 split, according to the Constitution, the state gets 80% of severance taxes, the parish of origin gets 20. But before the amendment passed, the split was more than 96% was going to the state, and only 4 were going back to local governments that were helping produce all the gas. So what's going to happen is that number is going to move down, and hopefully the 2.5 cap continue to rise on the CPI index, and one day we'll get to that 80-20. So remember that half of that new money has to go to roads and bridges. So that should help your public works folks. So I just want to personally thank you guys for jumping on board early and allowing our board members, Robert Glass, David Cox, and our president, Carl Pearson, for allowing me to run all over the state to get this thing passed. It's going to affect 31 to 33 parishes in the beginning. So half of the parishes, mostly in the northwest part of the state, and all the southern coastal states are going to be the big beneficiaries of this. But like I said, we are our brother's keeper, and everybody's jumped on board. Even parishes that knew they weren't going to receive any further revenues jumped on board, and they got this thing passed. So a couple other things I want to talk about. I appreciate Commissioner Lynch. She's the co-chair of the Justice and Juvenile Committee. They've secured a spot in New Orleans. The whole entire NACO committee is coming to New Orleans January 19th through 22nd, I believe. So we got about 120, 150 folks from around the United States coming to Louisiana for that. But most of all, we got 1,000 folks coming to Shreveport February 17th through the 19th. I want to thank the commissioners along with the staff. They've been unbelievable in getting everything together. We're going to do a joint effort with Bossier. We've got 3 hotels already sold out. We have to add 2 more in the last month. So everything's coming together. We've been coming about once a month and getting everything together. So a lot of active commission members, a lot of, especially your staff, putting this thing together. Like I said, we're expecting probably the biggest convention we've ever had. Bringing in national folks, NACO. We're also bringing in the U.S. senators and our congressional members, and a lot of the statewide elected officials, and all be mixing and mingling here. We're going to have 14 different of our own steering committees meeting, as well as a number of the undersecretaries under Governor Jindal, all coming in to share everything from grants to energy efficient programs, you name it, all that's coming. We're going to have special educational sessions, and that's going to affect you, everything from the general service tax and how that's going to kick in. But most of all, we're going to have a special redistricting conference educational session coming up probably last Thursday. I think we're going to plan it. That way everybody can attend. So I just wanted to come and thank y'all. We have a board meeting tomorrow, so we have our entire state board driving in the Shreveport as I speak. But I appreciate the opportunity just to come and thank y'all for everything y'all have done and the leadership y'all have shown, especially all the way up here in Shreveport, Texas.
Anyone have anything to say to Roland? Out in public.
Go ahead.
The capital of Texas used to be in Louisiana, just south of here in Sabine Parish. Yes. Globalized. That's all. Thank you.
I just want to say, Roland is just unbelievable, and
the way he keeps up with bills and his energy in terms of keeping us all on track and and I'd just like to publicly, again, thank him for all of his hard work and that staff. It's just unbelievable. You can call at any time and ask for a bill by number or by whatever other way you can ask for it, and they can just spit it out just like that, and it's just amazing, and we really appreciate it up here. Thank you again, Roland, for your work.
All right. Moving along. Next we have Miss Beverly Johnson, Joyce Johnson. How are you today? Did you lose someone?
Is there a way to bring the presentation up?
As you speak.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Sure, that up.
When you're talking to them.
All right.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm Beverly Johnson. I am the Vice President of Strategy and Finance for Orchid Media. I'm here accompanied by Joyce Johnson, who's the Vice President of Sales and Marketing. We're very happy to be here today and to have an opportunity to speak to you about how we can help you build a powerful brand for your parish. Before I get started, I'd like to make sure that everyone has a copy of the presentation. A little bit about us. Orchid Media is a marketing and communications company. We were established in 2009 in McKinney, Texas, and our staff has over 30 years of corporate experience in marketing and communications and 22 years in print media. The core of our clients are clients that have currently have marketing programs, but those marketing programs lack both cohesion and consistency. And we work with them to build both cohesion and consistency. We also try to make our marketing plans as effective as possible. We help to meet their business objectives, and of course, we also have a goal to measure the effectiveness of our marketing. We have a staff that consists of 10 members and 5 consultants. We are a project-based organization, and basically what that means is that we go out and we evaluate the needs of our clients. Once we evaluate their needs, we establish a team that has the best skill sets to help our clients be as effective as they can be to meet their marketing objectives. It also means that we believe that by working in a team environment, it gives the client himself the opportunity to be more involved with what we do. We have a strategic model that we operate off of. It's based on leadership, it's based on policy, it's based on procedures that allow us to operate in our team environment on how we gather data, how we evaluate it, and how we communicate it both internally and externally with our clients. So that's basically our story. So in preparation for today, we went out and did a little research trying to find out what's really your story. And we found out some very interesting things about your parish. First, we found out that in November 2010, by Forbes magazine, that one of the cities inside of your parish, Shreveport, was the #1 best place for the cost of doing business. We also found out just this week that Shreveport was voted the 9th best place for military personnel to live. We also know that the cost of living here is very good. You have competitive air travel, housing prices are fantastic, good air quality, short commutes, great medical facilities, tons of culture, entertainment, and below average taxes. The other things that we know work for your parish is that you are in a great location. You're located to some other very major metropolitan areas. You have a lot of land that's available for development, and that you have a strong transportation network. We know that from back in 2008, from 2008 to 2007, that some other positive things, that you actually had some job growth and that you actually had a relatively healthy travel industry. So basically what we find out about the parish is that the communities are beautiful, the place is in a great geographic location, you have great transportation network, great food, of which I had the chance to taste some of that this afternoon, great restaurants, and tons of culture and entertainment. And with that, at this time, I'll be followed by Ms. Joyce Johnson, who will talk to you about branding, marketing, and the communications plan.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having us here. First, I want to tell you I am a former Caddo Parish student. I went to school here. So I talk about this parish because I love it. I love the culture. I love the people. And one day I want to come back and live here. Today we want to make and talk about how we make you a very, very strong brand. There's a lot of competition for dollars out there. As you know, that there are cities that have names that when you talk about the city, you know exactly what city you're talking about. We want to make that name for those counties and for the parishes to be the same. So when you speak of Caddo Parish, somebody can say what that brand is. What makes a very strong brand is user loyalty. We want your visitors to come back again and again and again. We also want to build motivate your community to action. So when they think about what it is that make it a great place to live, they exuberate that type of attitude when other people come to the area. Some of the cities and counties that have strong branding would be like New Orleans, Crescent City. I can say I'm going to the Crescent City, everybody know I'm going to New Orleans. That is the kind of brand we want to make for Caddo Parish. What we want to do in our methodology is to make sure that we identify Caddo Parish as the place to live, the place to do business, and the place to invest. If you know what makes any parish or county very well is the dollars that's going back into the community. Our branding will distinguish Caddo Parish as the best place to live with good thoughts. You want people to go back to their homes saying, I want to come back there again. You're not in a silo. We got at least, when we did our study, you have a lot of metropolitan areas where you can start to bring those people into the parish to generate dollars. Our approach, though, is a little different. We believe in multi-generational marketing. What that means is we have every age demographic in the workplace right now. Most of them are generating dollars. To give you an idea of what we're talking about, our strategy, our approach is to look at all the different generations that we have. We have the traditionalists, the World War II generation, the baby boomers, my generation, the Gen X and the Millennium generation, all of which you need to communicate to them differently. You cannot expect for each one of those generations to understand the marketing strategy. They're 65 plus years of age when we did our study. They love print ads. They may not ever pick up the internet and go online. So we want to make sure that we're in the right newspapers and the way that you reach them. They listen to the radio, so they like talk shows. So that's how we want to do our marketing. For the baby boomers, which is the largest 50-plus generation ever to enter into history, the mature years, they're technical, they're physically fit, and they love sharing material. So an article for a baby boomer is easy for them to pass along to other baby boomers. So when they find out that this is the best medicine you can use, you can rest assured they're going to share it with their friends. The Gen X demographic. This group is a very unique group. The average person that's a Gen X start using a computer between the ages of 5 and 8. So the best way to reach them is with online activities, social networking. They like to be connected. Their vehicles are Twitter. They love Facebook and browse and LinkedIn. So if anything's happening in your parish, the best way to communicate to them is online. The 29 and under. They're the special ones. This is the 24/7 group. They love to stay connected. As you know, the average child in elementary school is text messaging at age 3, 4, 5, just to let you know where they are. So for each one of those groups, we believe that marketing has to be tailored to 4 different generations. Our communication plan is to reinvigorate and rebrand your website. The Caddo Parish website is your first invitation to the world. Whether you're in Dallas or Europe, I can pull up Caddo Parish. When I go to the parish, I want to find out exactly what's going on there. Maybe I want to visit. I want to come to see the entertainment. It needs to be easy to use, interactive, so everybody and anybody can use it. We also produce videos and print materials. Our videos will actually talk about some of the historical background here. You have a very rich background. The culture and the myths are just surprising. I was doing research, I was running through, I actually went to school here, and I had to think about just how much fun it is to go down to Fording and look for the man with his head cut off. I think everybody that ever was in any high school went down there for that myth. If you don't remember, it was supposed to be somebody that was on the railroad that lost his head, and we had to go see it. So those are the kinds of things that people find interesting. Also about your culture. How long you have been talking about oil and gas? How long do you talk about, you got the Veterans Cemetery here. There's a lot of things that people would like to know about this parish. And I think we need to get the word out. In the print material, we'll give you sales tools, presentations, so when you go and meet some of those industry leaders, you can talk about the things that's happening here in your parish. Our public relations campaign ad will be frequent conferences, press releases, frequent press conferences, letters to editors, and highlighting all your hometown heroes, like today. I was very touched by that, by the way. I have never, ever been to a commission meeting, and I tell you what, that has to be stellar for what you guys did for this group. But just think about if you could actually communicate that to the world. Then people would know how much you care about your citizens here. We want to probably reinvigorate your brand. We want to create a pitch that make people want to come here. We want to do an annual promotional calendar where all they need to do is click the date and find out what's happening. I would love to know when the Red River Railroad was coming. I love the Independence Bowl, and I was here for Port City. We want to use all of those outlets so people will know what's going on in your area. The ad campaign for industries, there's a lot of magazines that you can actually start to put the word out. Business Week. You can put it in site locators. Things that people would need to know in order to relocate to the area. We want to go out and make and renegotiate some of those contracts and make sure that you're in touch with the world and the world is in touch with you. Retirees. I'm one of the ones that say, I retired, but I'm going back to work. I retired about 2 years ago. Couldn't stay at home. I want to make sure I come back home, which is the place I want to live here. But I want to know about those best plans for AARP offer. Some of the things that we need to know to help us be happy retirees. I also want to find out a little bit about what's best for the Boxer Air Force Base employees. If you can start marketing to them now, just think when they retire, you will have a group of people that will be here for life. You got your local government. You got your 35 plus 7 years of age people. That's the average median age in this area. You want to keep them. You don't want them to leave. So develop programs that they would be interested in as they grow older. The Young Adults Ad Campaign. The interactive social media person. We want to make sure that we create a part of your website for young adults. Things that's happening in your community. They love Twitter. They love Facebook. Anything that's happening in the city, you can communicate that instantaneously. They can hang up the phone and reach thousands of people with less than 2 messages. This is an opportunity to bring people to the Caddo Parish area. Now I'm going to turn it over to Beverly to talk about measuring our success.
I'm going to close by talking about measuring for success. And the reason why we talk about that, we think it is so critical and so important, because I know of all my years, and I know for Joyce of all her years, we had the pleasure of working for the same company at one point. They have never asked us, how hard did we work? They have only asked us, what did our work actually achieve? So we are profound believers in the work that we do. We want to make sure that we are actually driving the results that our clients want. So what we see is the opportunity, a necessary opportunity to have to measure what we do. And what you see on this slide is just some indicators of different ways you can measure. Obviously, this is not a comprehensive list, There's lots of different things and indicators you can look at to measure your marketing plans and your communications plans. These are just a few of them. We tailor those indicators to the things that our clients really want to know and really want to understand. Well, that concludes our presentation. We look forward to the opportunity to work with your parish and develop a brand that will give you both a competitive advantage and the earnings that you're seeking. And we thank you for your time. Do you have any questions for us at this time?
Anyone have any questions of either of the Mrs. Johnsons? Nope. Very good. Thank you very much. Ladies, have a nice day. Anyone else wishes to address the commission on any matter other than zoning? All right, we'll move on to communications and reports. Mr. Wilson? All right, Mrs. Lynch.
Well, I have several things. One, I think I've heard redistricting a couple of times today, so can we get a little update from Gary Joyner on where we are, where we're going? I know it's going to be kicking off really soon, so I wanted to see where we are on that. And I also wanted to thank Mr. Keith McClung. A couple of weeks ago, a group of fourth graders were here for the mayoral inaugural ceremonies, and were in the chamber, and I called at the last minute to get some bags, brought down a group of fourth graders from Caddo Heights, and so they sent a card, Keith, thanking us for the bags. So thank you for taking care of that. On Sunday, Christian Services, which is an organization that this commission supports, is going to be hosting the Christian Services Telethon from 12 p.m. to 6. And I'm just encouraging everyone to call in, or if you want to stop by the Comcast studios to make a pledge, I would really appreciate it. And lastly, certainly want to first thank God and my parents, my grandparents, my constituents, as well as my colleagues, Woody, everybody. I will be graduating next Friday, the 17th, at 10 o'clock from Grambling State University. With my master's in public administration and state and local government. I wanted to wear my stuff today, but they told me they had to convert a degree first before I could put it on. So I had sleep with it and all of that, but certainly a lot of time and sacrifice. I know sometimes y'all were wondering why you were getting emails from me last year at 2 and 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning. That's because I was up doing papers, writing and whatnot. And so certainly, like I said, definitely want to thank my constituents, because a lot of times they didn't see me and I missed some meetings and that type thing because I had class. And so thank you all. I appreciate your support.
Commissioner Epperson.
Mr. Glass and Mr. Wilson, I had an opportunity to visit the Shreve Industrial Park, and the rail crossing is open. It's a beautiful facility. It goes all the way out to Great Coon. That will relieve traffic tremendously from the Windermere Estates area to Buncombe Road. It's getting tight up in there. So the next thing I would like to ask if you all could explore, I believe there's an access or service road that's blocked off that runs parallel with 3132 and runs into Walker Road, and it's blocked off. So I was wondering if that's another avenue that we could get with, I might have to be state, DOTD, and see if we can link that in at some point back there, and I think that would make that area even more conducive for businesses and relieve the traffic problems upon the residents within that area. And also, I don't know if you remember or not, but the DOTD held a November the 10th public hearing in Beaulieu. Did anyone attend? I never did hear anything from it. We want to focus on pushing the left turn, double left turn lane with I-20. Did you all get a chance to make it or what?
We had a staff member went. I think Mr. Ward went to it.
Okay. He did. Ross, did he come up with anything?
Well, it's already funded. It's supposed to be, bid in the spring, and it's supposed to start construction, I want to say, in September.
Okay. Well, I heard July, so I'm going to go with July. Could you find it out? Yeah, we want to hold it to July. Okay, all right. Well, thank you. Okay, that's all I have.
Thank you. Commissioner Cox?
First off, we need to revisit the way that this commission is notified of things that is happening in our area. The railroad was opening up. Nothing was said to us. Coca-Cola was opening up, and I know we gave some tax breaks to these people. We went through this from time and time again. I've been here 2 terms, and it just seems that we're forgotten souls around here, and I think we need to have a heart-to-heart talk with some of these bodies that come to us from time to time and asking us to give up the moon, but yet when everything comes to the table, they forget to call us to eat. So we need to go ahead and let these people know in 2011, if they come to us, they need to keep us informed, because I've about had enough of this. Nobody except for the president, and that's just because the mayor had saw you out and about, was invited to the Coca-Cola. It's in Mr. Epperson's district. He wasn't notified. The railroad crossing is in his district and my district. I was out there at 10 o'clock watching them put everything up or pick all the roadblocks up, but we have just as much stake inside Shreveport city limits as the city of Shreveport does. And I think that needs to change, from the Chamber of Commerce all the way to the City Council. Special thanks to Mr. Whittington. He was working with a constituent in Ms. Ranch's area that she called me, and I helped her out on a few issues, and Mr. Whittington met me at her house the other day, and I can tell you that you did an excellent job, and I appreciate your help. So, lastly, this Saturday between 4:30 and 6:30, the Southern Hills Christmas Parade will roll. We will start at Southwood, come down Mackey Lane, take a left into the Somerville Baptist Church, make the parking lot on the 3132 side, end up at Safety Town. And we have probably 25 to 30 entries as it stands right now. And just come out and have a good time. Merry Christmas to all. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Cox. Any other communications?
Yes, sir, Mr. President, I wanted to point out the clerk's office has provided you with a monthly calendar for 2011. Each month is on there. It's on your desk. That's all.
Thank you. Now we'll move on. I need a motion to adopt the minutes of the special meeting on the 15th, the regular meeting on the 18th, and special meeting on December 2nd. It's been moved by Commissioner Cox and seconded by Commissioner Pearson to adopt those minutes. Is there any discussion on that motion? Vote, please. All right, those minutes are adopted. Next, we have the public hearing on ordinances.
Ordinance 5055, amending the budget of estimated revenues and expenditures for the general fund in the amount of $150,000 for election expenses for the year 2010.
Everyone here to speak in favor of this ordinance? Anyone in opposition? Next, please.
Ordinance 5056, amending the budget of estimated revenues and expenditures for the riverboat fund in the amount of $45,500 to pay expenses for the consultant hired to develop a noise ordinance.
Anyone here to speak in favor of this ordinance? Anyone in opposition? Next item, please.
Ordinance 5057, declaring certain adjudicated properties to be surplus and authorize the parish administrator to sell interest therein.
Anyone here to speak in favor of this ordinance? Anyone in opposition? Very well.
That concludes our public hearings on ordinance, sir.
All right, do we have the work session minutes of the 6th?
Yes, sir.
All right, I need a motion to confirm those. Moved by Commissioner Dominic, seconded by Commissioner Smith. Any discussion on that motion? Vote, please. Minutes are approved.
Ordinance for final passage. Ordinance 5055, amending the budget of estimated revenues and expenditures for the general fund in the amount of $150,000 for election expenses.
Do you have a motion on that ordinance? Moved by Commissioner Thibodeau. Seconded by Commissioner Cox. Is there any discussion on the motion? Being none, let's vote, please. Motion passes. Next one.
Ordinance 5056, amending the budget of estimated revenues and expenditures for riverboat fund in the amount of $45,500 to pay expenses for consultants.
Motion to approve. Seconded by Commissioner Smith, seconded by Commissioner Dominic. Any discussion on the motion? Commissioner Lynch?
Just ask, I'm just, because I've forgotten, is that our pro rata share?
Yes.
Did Bossier, how much of everybody put up 45, or what was the total?
$91,000.
So they paid half, we're paying half?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion on the motion?
Vote, please. That passes. Next ordinance.
Ordinance 5057, declaring certain adjudicated properties to be surplus and authorize the parish administrator to sell the taxes therein.
So moved. Moved by Commissioner Pearson.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Cox. Any discussion on the motion? Being none, let's vote. That's approved. Next, please.
Ordinance for introduction by title, ordinance 5058, amending the budget of estimate revenues and expenditures for the capital outlay fund to transfer funds from remodeling the 5th floor of the Caddo Parish Courthouse to the new project of renovation of the 4th floor of Francis Bickham Building in the amount of $926,000. Ordinance 5059, to authorize the Caddo Parish Administrator to execute an intergovernmental agreement with the town of Greenwood. Ordinance 5060, to authorize the release of property, mobile home adjacent to Eddie D. Jones Park. Ordinance 5056, to authorize the purchase of property located at 9956 Mansfield Road for use as a Caddo Parish Sheriff's Office substation. Ordinance 5062, to authorize the sale of property located in North Shreveport Industrial Park. Resolution number 75, to authorize the parish administrator to execute an agreement with the Carrington International Corporation and National Association of Counties for Caddo Parish to participate in a pilot program for the NACO dental discount plan. Resolution 76.
Whoop, I need a motion for that resolution. Commissioner Lynch,
Yes.
and seconded by
Second.
Ms. Barman. Any discussion on the motion? Vote on the resolution, please. There you go, that resolution passes. Next resolution.
Resolution 76, approving the Shreveport Boat Convention and Tourist Bureau budget for the year 2011.
Move to approve. Second. Moved by Commissioner Lynn, seconded by Commissioner Epperson. Any discussion on the motion? Please vote. It's approved. Next item.
Resolution 77, approving the issuance of not exceeding 50,000 revenue anticipation notes, Caddo Parish District Number 6, Fire District Number 6.
Move to approve. Moved by Commissioner Smith, seconded by Commissioner Thibodeau. Any discussion on this? Vote, please. Passes. Commissioner Smith, you may vote no.
Motion.
Thank you. All right.
There is no old business, sir.
All right, new business.
Confirmation for approval of the North Louisiana Criminalistic Laboratory Commission proposed operating budget for the year 2011.
Got a motion by Commissioner Thibodeau, seconded by Commissioner Dominic. Any discussion on the motion? Vote, please. Passes. Next items. All right.
Next, we have our end-of-year appointments for final confirmation, sir.
Okay, we can take these in globo if you would like, and if anybody wants to make any substitutions, let's go ahead and make them. Anyone have any substitutions or names they would like to add to the list? Commissioner Smith?
On appointment number 1, Mary Collier, I'd like to hold on that. And
What number 1? Waterworks District 7?
Yes, right, sorry.
All right, you just don't want to take no action on that, is that what you're asking? All right, anyone else? Commissioner Cox?
I'm good with the way it is. If anybody has any changes, I'd just like to make a comment at the end of it.
Okay. Mr. Thibodeau?
I was just wanted to ask, I think in the original version of this that was out there were some appointments for Fire District 5, and they're not on here. Did I just get left off by accident?
I don't think so. Okay, 5 merged with 6, that's what it was.
5 and 6 merged?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Commissioner Epperson?
On the library board appointment, we have one appointment where we have 2 applicants, so I would like to nominate Ms. Dottie Bell, if I can get a second.
That's been moved and seconded by Commissioner Epperson, seconded by Commissioner Bowman, that Ms. Dottie Bell receive the Shreve Memorial Library appointment.
Any discussion on those motions? Yes, Ms. Bowman?
Yes, I would like to mention that she is basically the only parish appointee on the library board. No, that lives in the parish, not in the city limits of Shreveport.
Right. That's what
She lives in the parish of
Appointment has to
Caddo.
be made of a citizen that lives out of the city.
Right.
Okay, any other discussion on that motion? To approve Ms. Bell? Let's vote to approve Ms. Bell. Okay, Ms. Bell is approved. Any other additions or exclusions? Okay, I will entertain a motion to englobo all remaining appointments with the exception of Waterworks District 7. Pardon me?
I've been pushing it.
Well, okay. Push again. One time. There you work. Okay, now you work.
Okay.
I just had a question.
On the fire district number 2, got one that's in a comment and one that's resigning for the appointee. So does that mean that one seat will still remain open?
I would have to assume so. I mean, we're not going to appoint a resigned person, so they obviously have made no recommendation.
Who is 2?
Fire district, anybody? No?
What district you say?
This is the district that will be merging with one.
Well, it may not, the board may not may have established itself as such that there may not be an additional member. Any other questions? Commissioner Dominic?
I don't have any.
You don't have any?
No, I don't know why I'm not talking.
Okay, so we're going to approve all these appointments with the exception of Waterworks District 7, as they are. Is there a motion to do that? So moved. Commissioner Dominic, seconded by Commissioner Johnson. Any discussion on that motion? Let's vote, please. All right, all those appointments are made. Being no other business, Merry Christmas. We're adjourned.
I like this.